Hello all. Today we're going to show you how to originate a file within Encompass and get it ready for disclosures. Start by going into your pipeline view and clicking on the New Loan tab. You want to select your type of loan. For this example, we're going to select correspondent, fixed, and a correspondent fixed loan. Double click and that'll create your file. Here we're going to start with the basics of the 1003. For this example, we're going to use borrower's name as test. And I'm just going to go through the pages as you would a standard 1003 form. Keep in mind as I enter this file that in order to trigger it for an application, I need to enter the 6 pieces for TRID. That would be the name, the address, social security number, income, loan amount, and estimated value. So as I proceed here for this file, I'm only going to enter one borrower. There is a no co-applicant tab at the top, which I just clicked. That's going to eliminate some of the duplicate entry later. I'm also going to click here as lender. It's going to auto-populate United American. This is a correspondent loan. And I'm going to proceed to enter the borrower's information. For this example, I'm going to create a purchase loan. For this example, I'm also going to skip the part for the credit pool, but that credit section is where you would run your credit. Please note that I'm going to leave the address as TBD for now. That's already built into the system. You can leave TBD and it will not trigger your 6 pieces. Okay. For now, I'm going to enter this as a detached home, meaning no HOA dues. I will later in the video show how to enter HOA dues if that is needed. Lender is already showing as United American. Program is already picking up as 30-year fixed. And now I'm going to select my closing cost template and just select United American. And that works for the vast majority of our correspondent lenders. Please note that there is no loan number yet. That'll be filled in later automatically once the file is saved. So you can see here, this is a purchase, 30-year, conventional. Let's go with the purchase price of $750,000. We'll do 20% down. We'll leave this file as floating for now. We'll do a 30-day close, so we'll put this out for 30 days. And we're going to go with an interest rate of 4.25%. Make sure to also enter your qualifying rate. That's important, especially when you're working on an ARM. Here for borrower's income, there's a few tools in here you can use. For example, if we're going to go hourly, I can enter the hours per week. That's typically 40. And then the hourly rate, and that'll calculate my income for me. It'll give it to me as a monthly amount. There's other tools here. So let's say semi-monthly, meaning twice per month. I can leave the hours per week blank because this is monthly pay. You see how it's grayed out there? And I'll just enter what the semi-monthly amount is, and that will also calculate it for me. Please note that as mistakes are made, for example, I am entering co-borrower's income, even though I do not have a co-borrower. All can be fixed later. At registration, this shows us which investor we're going to take this file to. You can see at the top there's a filter. If you clear the filters, it'll give you every investor and every lender. You can sort, so here I'll sort alphabetically. And for this example, I'm going to select Flagstar Bank correspondent. All the information auto-populates for you. And now I'll proceed to page 1 of the 1003. A couple important things you have to enter, which are not labeled as blue, but let's start with the units, the year built. Let's enter the vesting. We'll say, I don't know what that is now, so I'll say to be determined in escrow. This is a purchase, so source of down payment. Let's go with checking or savings account. No explanation of down payment is needed for now. Let's enter the years in school and our dependents. Let's go with 1. Mailing address. As easy as clicking that box if it's the same as the present. And let's enter our income. Let's go here with years on job. Typically DO asks for 2 years, so I'll make sure to enter that as 2 years on the job. And that was actually the employer section. Now I'm going to enter the income. Again, now I'm realizing that I had co-borrower information in here. Let's delete that. I only want income from my borrower. They're currently renting, so let's enter the monthly rent amount. And to enter the assets, I'm going to click on the VOD section. I'm going to add an account. This here is for my borrower. Just going to enter the name of the bank. And as you can see, I created that entry there by clicking on the Add New tab, which is that little paper with the green plus sign. This is extra information that carries over in case you need to actually order a verification of deposit. That would have been my contact info there. So let's go with savings account for our borrower. Let's enter the account number. We'll enter a test account number for this. And let's enter enough money in the savings account to cover our down payment. And let's also enter a checking account for this same bank account number, and let's enter some money into their checking account. And there it is. I have $220,000 in bank deposits, and let's enter some extra money there into their retirement funds. No liabilities on this one because I did not import the credit, but here's where you could order it. You can also view. You can import your liabilities here. For this test example, I'm just going to create a fake liability here. We'll call this an installment debt. We'll call it a lease payment. Enter the payment and the months left. I'm not going to pay that off. Now let's proceed to page 3. Here at the top is where you would enter your schedule of real estate. This borrower is currently renting. I'm not going to give them any properties currently owned. Nothing to fill out in the details of transaction. That'll be completed through the 2015 itemization. So let's proceed to declarations. And we're going to go no across the board for all the declarations. We'll say that this borrower is a U.S. citizen. They're going to occupy this as a primary residence, and they have not owned previously. Now we get into the HMDA reporting section. We're going to say that we took this application over the telephone. This borrower is not Hispanic. Race, we're going to enter white. And this is a female. Okay. Now we get into the loan officer section. As you can see here, I have not yet selected a loan officer. For this file, I am the file starter, as you can notate by the FS at the top. But now I need to select a loan officer. Let me hit save first. And you'll see here that it's going to generate a loan number. So now my loan number is auto-populated. It ends in 433. There's still a few required fields left, and most of these appear to be the loan officer information, which I have not yet selected. So let's select our test user. As you can see here, there's a few different ways to sort. You can sort by first name. I'm going to select my test user here, my test loan officer. And for now, we have to do this step twice. Now I'm going to sort by last name. Select my test officer one more time. This information is still showing that it needs to be completed. I can go to page 3 to verify. You can see that all the information is auto-populated now. And if I go back to my pre-qual milestone, you can see that the required fields are now gone. And I can now finish that milestone. This is an important step in disclosing. I want to make sure that my file is deemed ready for disclosures before I'm sending out disclosures. And I'm also going to complete my task that I've obtained the 6 pieces. Now, as you can tell, I truly do not have my 6 pieces yet because my property is still showing as TBD. I will fix this in a step down the line. Now I'm going through my 2015 itemization. Most of our fees, our origination charges have already auto-populated. So as I scroll down the page, days of interest already entered for me. It goes off of my estimated close date. This is a purchase, so I'm going to enter 12 months worth of homeowner's insurance. That's my first premium. And you can see there that the amount is already entered at $150 per month. You can also see here that my property taxes are already entered at $781.25. Okay. Now here's where I realize that I don't have a property address. I haven't triggered my 6 pieces. So I'm going to change this to a PUD because I want to show you how to enter HOA dues. Here on page 2, you can see there's my loan amount. That's what's calculating my hazard insurance. Purchase price at 1 1/4. That's calculating my real estate taxes. And now I'm going to enter HOA dues of $250 per month. I'm going to go back to the 2015 itemization. Actually, I'm also realizing here that my borrower doesn't qualify. My DTI is at 103 back end. So let's give this borrower some more income to make sure that they qualify. There we go. Now we have a back end of 34. That works. So now back to the 2015 itemization. I now want to show you how to properly enter the HOA dues. So I have my property taxes, my homeowner's insurance, and here I want to enter homeowners association dues. And this borrower has informed me that they do not want impounds. And as you can see, it auto populates for the impounds at 2 months of hazard insurance and 2 months of property taxes. To remove that, we're going to go to the aggregate setup and we're going to clear all impound settings. Okay. Now I want to delete the 2 months. Enter that as 0. And enter the taxes as 0. So that'll leave them disclosed. So my taxes and insurance are disclosed along with my HOA dues, but this file is no longer impounded. Okay, now we get into the 1100 section. This here is for escrow and title fees. I'm going to create a test escrow and enter their fee. Now, if you can see at the top there's 2 columns, one for borrower, one for seller. Make sure you enter it on the borrower side. And I'm going to enter a few fees for escrow as well. In addition to their settlement fee. Now let's enter some fees for title. Again, I'll just create a test title company. Now, if you need to add additional fees, you can select from this drop down here. So let's enter a sub escrow fee. You can't type into this section, so you have to select from the options that are available. So there's a sub escrow fee that's payable to title. Let's enter our notary fee. You can see there that the recording fee is already pre-populated. We also have a couple of other standard fees dropped in there, like the master insurance. I'm going to enter a home warranty here. Again, this is a purchase, so let's enter a home warranty. And please note here the asterisk next to the borrower column. If you're meaning for this fee to show up in section H, you want to enter it into the double asterisk area. And you can see the guide is down at the bottom. Down at the bottom here, I can enter lender credits. So let's give this borrower a lender credit of $2,000. I can also enter seller credits here. So let's go with the seller credit of $1,000. And an important tip here, save early, save often. So let's hit save. And let's go on to the LE. We'll start with our date issued. I'm going to put this LE out today. It's going to be 10/12/2019. First payment date, that's actually going to be January 1st because we're going to close this file in November. So I'm going to go Switch that there back to January 1st, 2020. And as you can see, most of the information for the loan estimate has now been completed because of the information that I entered on the 1003 on the borrower summary page, as well as the 2015 itemization. So now I'm just giving it a quick review. So let's proceed to page 1 of the LE. Again, I'm just reviewing the information because it's all carrying over from other areas that I've already entered. And now I'm realizing that I never triggered my file because I have a TBD address. So let's trigger the address. Let's enter an actual property address here. And if you pay close attention to the top left where the alerts and messages are, that's about to pop up with my alerts that I now have my 6 pieces. And there it is. Now it's telling me that I need to send out my e-consent and I need to send out my initial disclosures. It's giving me until the 17th. That's 3 business days. Keep in mind that for this example, October 14th is a holiday. It's already taken that into account for us. So now I'm going to continue with my 1003, just kind of reviewing the information. Everything is pre-populated for me. Everything looks good. I'm going to hit save one more time. Now it's actually alerting me that I need to send out my disclosures. Home counseling list, as simple as clicking get agencies. Hit get agencies one more time and hit save. And you can see from this list that it's going to populate my 10 closest providers for that service. Settlement service provider list. Again, you can apply a template. We've built a few in. For this example, I'm going to go purchase for California, and it's less than $1 million, so it's between 500,000 and $1 million. I'm going to select that. Best practice is to make your fees match as closely as possible. So we've entered a few for you. So here I'm going to adjust my settlement fee to $1,600. I'm going to enter my title fee as $900. New loan services was $250. And I'm going to enter a few more. Again, best practice is to have it match as closely as possible to your actual fees that are entered on the 2015 itemization. These 2 forms are separate. They do not copy from one to the other. So you do need to complete this step as well as entering the fees onto your 2015 itemization. So they're the fees that I had entered on the other page. I'm going to hit save here. And as you can see from the forms list, I want to get down to where it says state-specific disclosures. So I'm going one form at a time. On the request for transfer, on the request for transcript of tax, it's as simple as clicking that white page with the blue arrow. It's going to populate the information. I'm going to select this as my borrower. This is a very important step here. You can't leave that area blank. It needs to either be borrower, co-borrower, or both. Nothing else needs to be entered. This is going to auto-populate for all of our investors. So area 5 stays blank. Area 6 is already pre-tagged as 1040s, box A, and then we'll also have this tagged for W2s. The proper dates are already entered on the bottom, and we will keep adjusting those annually so that those are always correct. That's it. It's just hitting the white page with the blue arrow and then entering your borrower. If you do need to make corrections, you're going to want to make that into section 3. So let's assume this borrower has a middle initial on their tax returns. You can enter that there. Let's assume this borrower uses a P.O. box and you need to change the address. You want to enter that here. This information is not carrying over to the 1003. This is specific to the 4506T form. I'm going to hit save one more time. And I'm just about done. Now, the good thing about Encompass is that we've built this so that California is already pre-tagged. There's nothing else to do with the state-specific disclosures for the state of California. If this is a correspondent loan, so we're ready to send out these disclosures. If this was a brokered loan, we'd also have it pre-tagged for you. So now I'm going to hit save. And that's it. That's how you originate and create a file within Encompass. In the next video, we'll show you how to properly order e-disclosures.